Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to our Wednesday night leadership mastery call. Patricia was doing her best. I know she's doing her best to log in, host, do other things while she's moving around. But I want to make sure I remind people, guys. And again, I'm gonna have a leadership call with everyone. But right now, everyone is part of the leadership organization and movement simultaneously. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is this: these calls, whenever we log in. I want to make sure that if no one is hosting, you host. Deetra. If no one's hosting, you host Rebecca. If no one's hosting, you host Catherine. Now we'll get to the point where we will have people that's lined up, but right now this thing it's a it's really the introduction into leadership, and this is a call that we have this call with people so they know it's okay. Whenever you have an organization, make sure you guys know, like whenever there's a call, you take it as your responsibility. Just like I didn't tell Patricia to host, I don't always tell Catherine to host. If they log in and nobody's talking, they just start hosting. They start talking. Sometimes we waiting to see if the other one's going to do something, but always as a leader, if you log in and you're the first one on and nobody else hosting if there's someone else who's hosting, they may say, hey, thank you for hosting the call. I got it from here. But if no one is hosting, take it upon yourself to host. And again, sometimes I like to just sit back and see because even though I have mentioned it, sometimes it has to be mentioned again, and it's okay. It's just a reminder from this right here that it goes to this next phase, this next level of leadership. As to adding new people to the group, we're going to be adding new people. And as new people come on board, they have to hear the excitement, they have to hear the energy, they have to hear that people are connected. The energy got to be so hopeful that without anything going on, just from the introduction, just from how everybody's interacting in the very beginning, it just makes them want to be a part of something. Am I making sense? So always know that it's okay to pop on and make sure that there's energy going, make sure that people are talking, whether it's this call, whether it's an opportunity call. Normally, we put people in place for the opportunity calls. They know they're going to host. And as you're hosting, you always keep things going. Never let there be like a long gap of silence, a long space where nothing is happening. Because again, you got to always remember new people, when they log in, they don't know. And the energy of how we create it for them is what they buy into. So I just want to say that to you guys to know that whenever you pop on, just host the call. Just because it gets you into this leadership mode, it makes you feel confident. Then your team will hear you always stepping up and stepping out. And then your team will start to do the same thing. But guys, today's call out, on this leadership mastery call, I want to always make sure that that even though there's other calls, other things happening, it's important that as an organization and team that you learn to keep your finger on the pulse of the organization. Write that down. When I heard that phrase or that line a long time ago, learn to keep your finger on the pulse of your organization. It's kind of like always knowing, like without anything happening, like without anybody telling you something, you can kind of see what's going on with your group. You can kind of see based off of the time of the month, the time of the week, the people, if they're producing, not producing, if there's sales happening, no sales happening, or like we are right now, a lot of people are brand new. So because I know a lot of people are brand new, if everybody's on a bunch of calls and the calls are all over the place, many times people don't know where that stuff ties into. You got me? And we've been doing presentations of a lot of times people don't know where the presentations tie into. And they tie into the ways we get paid. And they tie into the promotions that we get when we get paid. So this call that I want to have with you guys tonight, and matter of fact, I was on a call where it said this group, and I said, so I've literally got my stuff pulled up because what you're talking about tonight is what I want to talk to people about tonight as well, because it's important that you guys understand when we tell people welcome to the team and family, then we send them the link for them to actually join into, go to the link tree, and they'll get a chance to download the Dare to Dream. It says download the Dare to Dream. It says download the calendar, download the compensation plan. It's for a moment like this because you have to know where you are to know where you're going, but you also want to understand how you get paid. At every job, you always ask the question, how much am I going to get paid? When am I going to get paid? So now you can calculate what's coming next. Now, as we go into this last quarter of the year, I need everybody tying in. The first couple of weeks, I was getting everybody into a mode. I know a lot of people was brand new, and sometimes the overload of giving too much stuff so fast without them really understanding, it can almost overwhelm people. So you got to just get them into activity mode. You got to get them into just presenting, showing up, talking, seeing each other, seeing other people. I've been doing this long enough to understand that there's a process in that. But I also know that because our smart ship, and again, always write it down so you remember, it runs on the day of the 10th. The day of the 10th that is going to run, all right, every single month, like clockwork, because that's the cherry on top of everything else. But the same week that you are in the 10th, if you got your calendars, pull it up. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. On the same days that you have your calendar, let's say today is the 10th, is going to be on Friday. That week is going to be the smart ship week. All right, so let me kind of show it to you here. Well, I can't show you. I got my personal stuff on my calendar, but let's say in November the 10th is going to run on a Monday. So if you guys got your calculator, go to Monday, go to November, and you'll see that the smart ship runs on a Monday. So that meant because Friday, write this down, is the first of the work week. Wherever the 10 falls in on that week, of your work week, is when you know that that's gonna be the 1 week that you want to make sure everybody's ranking up. You have your biggest paycheck. You want to rank up. It's gonna get to the point where you're gonna rank up any week, but right now we got to have a strategy so people can build to something. All right. So let's say in November, if Monday is the 10th, that meant Friday is the 7th. So you got the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and the 13th. That's in November. In December, the 10th is going to be on a Wednesday. If you go to December, again, because it's on a Wednesday, it's going to go from Friday the 5th all the way up to Thursday the 11th. So, and then last month it was in August, it was on a Sunday. So the first of the work week started on that Friday, which was the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So this next smart ship is going to be on the 10th, is going to be on, I'm sorry, it's going to be on the 10th, it's going to be on a Friday. Last month was on a Wednesday. I'm sorry. This month is going to be on a Friday. And because it's on a Friday, that's going to give you a jump start to knowing how much volume you're working with you and your organization that week. And then from knowing how much volume that you're going to generate that week just off of smart ships, you can foresee and foretell how much more you can get to the next level. So I want to say that to you first. I'm going to write it down for you to understand it. But for everybody who's on the call, understand this. People learn different ways, all right? A lot of times I want you to understand that when you're coaching and teaching people, the way you may process it is not how everybody processes it. So when you're teaching people, you got to learn to teach from different dynamics of how people show up in different ways, because just doing it the way you think that it's done or the way I am, everybody may not process it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Some people are auditory, some people got to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Some people are visual, some people are kinesthetic. Like even how they process is a feeling. They got to feel a certain type of way. There's a lot of things that I understand, and I want you to understand that when you're working and coaching and peak, that's why sometimes when I'm talking, sometimes I go low and I go high, because I know that some people are kinesthetic and they feel what you're saying. So when I'm talking, I'm just not like talking in one space, because if there are people who feel you and they're kinesthetic learners or energy people, you have to talk in such a way. So sometimes when I'm talking this way, I'm talking for those who may be on a calmer level, and they be more auditory. They're listening. They're not all the moving around. They're not visual, so they're listening for how you're speaking. So I'm giving you guys that first, all right, Katrina, because it's important that you understand there's a lot that goes into what we're doing when it comes to working with people. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the compensation. Talk to you guys about what we do when we start to rank up and we start to get to this next level of growth. And now, because I want everybody to start to put it on their calendars, like this week, you want to go for it. This week you want to be in this process of ranking up and positioning yourself. I want you to understand what you're ranking up for. So let me cover this here. Let's go to this TLC rank overview. That's in the conversation plan in the back office. You know what I'm saying? And that's also, and again, they got an older one up, and I got other ways of how I showed. I showed a bunch of different ways, but I'm gonna show it to you the way that you guys can get it as well, and how you can do it. I'm working with a lady now to put together some additional, make it even more simplified, because I got other simple ways that I can show it, but I want you guys to see it this way as well. But when you go here, I want you to understand when a person becomes an affiliate in the company, that means when they join the business, they have to have at least 40 that's PQV, personal qualifying volume. Write that down. PQV is your person. That means you as the person has to have at least 40 PQV in order to be active in the business. Now you can earn income the first two ways we say you get paid, which is retail and recruiting. Retail fast start, the life changer bonus is the second way. All right. So when you as long as you're active, that means you purchase at least one product at 40 points, that'll get you there. Now, now when you become an associate, all right, associate is now you guys are binary qualified. That means you have the same product that you purchased, bare minimum that you purchased to be active at 40 points. But now you have to be binary quality. You not have to, but now you have to become binary in order to be an associate. That means you may sponsor one person, you're not an associate yet, but it's when you get two people who also are at bare minimum of 40, then you are actually binary qualified. Now, as an organization, we teach people to be no less than 120. That means three products. But I'm just going to you so you understand the compensation plan. All right. And because we don't go to the numbers, we go through the numbers. Write that down. So that means we don't go to the numbers, we go through. So that means whatever you see, even though they may say this is the basics, we don't run basic. Nothing about us is basic. Nothing about us is average. We want to always excel average. I always say you set your smart ship not on where you are, you set it on where you plan on going. All right. And that means, and I'll get to it in a minute when I get to that rank and understanding where you plan on going, you have a better understanding. So binary qualified, for those of you who are brand new, again, never take for granted that when you say the word, people understand it because everybody don't always quite know exactly what you may be talking about. Binary qualified is you have sponsored a person on your left and a person on your right. Let me see, this one may be out. If these things are out, is because that's because the kid is working over here. When I'm offline, you guys don't see me. I'm constantly drawing, writing, doing calls, strategizing, making sure people understand it because I get it that people need to get this bit by bit. Binary is a person on your left and a person on your right. When we're sponsoring people, we're never trying to get people in as just saying, just get in with one product. Because if a person just joins with one product, they're not really bought into the business. One product don't give them enough that they don't have nothing they can sell. They using the product bag for themselves to have results that month themselves. They're not sampling, they're not giving it away. Or if they do give it away, they can't even have their own testimonial because they've given so much of the product away. They haven't even had a 30-day commitment to the one product. So I never want people just joining that one product. But we'll talk about kits and packs here in a little bit. But just know that a person has to be on your left, bare minimum of 40 points. On your right, bare minimum 40 points. But we know that we're going to do 120 bare minimum. So you want a person joining with enough product that gets them to at least 120. All right. But all a person needs bare minimum is 40 points. 40 on the left, 40 on the right. And that based on a compensation plan, and that makes a person an associate. So this week right here, like tomorrow, I need you guys in your mindset. I want you to really focus in on this business in a big way. Regardless of what's been happening for you so far, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Whether you sponsor people already, whether you put somebody into the business, whether they stay. Well, I haven't got nobody yet. It's irrelevant. This week, today, tomorrow's close out the end of the work week. Let me see it. Okay, good thing. I'm sorry, John Lacari was talking to me about something. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. John Lacari is here. If John has hit me up, I got to respond back at the time. He doesn't always hit me back. So when he's hit me back, I got to respond back because I'm actually working with him on a project that we're working with for our group and our team. So I want to make sure that you guys know we're always behind the scenes. Myself, said Patricia, other leaders, the captain, we're always working behind the scenes to help put things in place. Rebecca, everyone else and stuff, right? So 40 points. Now you're binary qualified in your process. Now you can earn retail commissions. You can earn the first way you get paid is retail. So now you can earn retail commissions. Second get paid is life changing bonuses or basically recruit. Right. So retail and recruit. So now you can get paid the first two ways that we get paid into the business. All right. Now that you're binary, you also can start getting paid binary commissions. Binary commissions open you up for the third way we get paid. See, binary commissions are set at 10%. And you have a weekly cap of $5,000 for the week. All right. So now that you binary, so until you go binary, you can't make between the 10 to 30%. Now there's a $5,000 a week cap at 10%, which is not bad. That means you can still make $20,000 for the month as somebody who's an associate and that's binary qualified, but you still can do that. So you have to start off by at least getting 10 to 30% by getting binary qualifications. All right. Let me go to this right here. Now, this is the reason why this is important. Now, first of all, you guys understand what I'm saying? You guys understand it so far? Where we at? It's still simple, but I just want to make sure because sometimes if you don't, I'd rather for you to ask the question to make sure. Never assume that people got it. I like to always have people cameras on, Katrina, because I can tell sometimes I'll say, I see you guys got it. And people like this, if you ask somebody they got it, they like this, they don't. Just be like, listen, it's okay. It's okay. Let's go through it again. Because if you're talking to me, I say about 7 times out of 10, you say it to me, I'm gonna be like this. Yeah. Because it takes me a minute to catch things sometimes. That's how I know I can see it in somebody else when they try to catch it. All right. So make sure you understand that. All right. So let's go here. So now we understand that's that. Now apprentice is halfway to director. We don't focus on apprentice. I don't look to make it a thing, even though, just so you know what I'm saying? For instance, apprentice is 500 in volume. Everything else you've seen already, all right? Everything else you've seen, including what you got, but also it's when you're an apprentice, it's volume, right? That means apprentice is 500 in volume that you generate on the left, and 500 in volume that you generate on at least on your left and your right side, right? At least on your lesser leg, you got to have at least 500 in volume. But normally, if you're brand new, 500. You got to have at least 500 over here to have the 500 over here. When you do that, you become an apprentice. An apprentice, it gives you the same opportunities here, and it lets people say that you're an apprentice. But there's not much more that happens with that, and it is a thing. It does matter that a person goes there, but I don't want that to be your goal. All right, I don't want that to be your first goal that you're doing. Now this is the caveat to that. If you're working with somebody, let's say tomorrow's the end of the work week, and I've been working with somebody all day, and I saw that they have 500 in volume points here. This is important that you understand this. And they only have maybe 200 in volume or 100 in volume, or even nothing. I said, listen, let's go for this. Let's at least get you to apprentice. Let's go. Let's qualify you. That means if it's at the end of the last end of the day has already been gone through, and I'm like, let's go to work. Let's not just close out when nothing happened. Let's get you to apprentice. Because all of this, because confidence comes from accomplishments. And when a person accomplishes something, even their apprentice, and they get the banner, then that will give enough confidence. Sometimes posting that they did something, it gets people asking questions what you have going on. You can use that for promotions and things like that. But this is not our goal, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not the first corporate position, but this is a position that gets people to where they can get recognition. They get recognized for hitting the rank of apprentice. But what happens is this, so you understand. Anytime we get paid every week, we get paid for the lesser leg of volume. All right. So if you guys got calculators, make sure you guys get it out because I'm gonna teach you showing the calculator. This is an important thing that you remember. Most people they don't run numbers quickly. And because you think they do, when you're talking, they're going to get that. You're asking numbers and they didn't shut down. So they're not listening. I found that when I normally say get your calculators out, and I'll be watching people when they putting stuff in, and I can always see when they go, I can see it. I can see that the light bulb went on when they saw the numbers. You can say it, and they like this. Yeah. But when I say get your calculator and they go, that's when I know the light bulb goes off. So I'm teaching you to teach. You got me? I'm teaching you how to teach other people because this next week, this next 2 weeks, is going to be these next 90 days is going to be crazy. But this is the week you have to understand what we're talking about. You have to start to get. I've been working with presentations and presenting and a bunch of other stuff, but now you guys, it's important that you definitely know what's coming next. It's important that you guys get what's showing up next. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry here. All right. So what happens is when you say lesser leg of volume, whichever leg produces the least amount of volume is the leg you get paid on. Some of you guys may have, your back office may look like this. You may see there's people in your back office, and you may see that there's volume that's been generated. That means from people buying products, people doing smart ship, people joining the business, people reordering products. All that generates volume beneath you. Whether you put the person there or somebody else put the person there, it generates volume. So let's say if this person did 200 in volume points, person did 200 in volume points, a person did 100 in volume points, the person did 100 in volume points, the person did 300 in volume points. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 volume that you may have. All right. And let's say just right here, let's say this person right here did another 100. That's 1,000 in volume that you generate if you did 100 here plus the 300. Because again, based off of the people, this is me, this is Patricia, this is Katrina, this is Rebecca. These are different people in the organization generating volume. Are you guys understanding? Am I making sense? All right. And from the volume that's generated, let's say there's 900 here, that's right here, that's 1,000 in volume. What happens is whichever leg produces the least amount of volume. So let's say if this week you haven't done nothing, and I tell you we're not going to stop. And some of you guys are logging in right now, and in your volume, you see that there's already 1,000 in volume or 900 in volume or whatever. And let's say tomorrow, as we're closing out like right now, if you guys have gotten nothing, let's make it a goal between now and by midday tomorrow to get you guys to apprentice. Now and by noon tomorrow, because that's how I work with people. If your numbers are low on one side, let's between now and tomorrow, and by tomorrow midday, get you to apprentice. Because we can get you there by midday. For the rest of the day, we're going to go hard to get you to director. So let's say you already see volume from all the people that's been placed beneath you, and there's already 1,000 in volume over there, and let's say you generate 100 in volume points over here. Whichever leg produces the least amount of volume, what's going to happen is it's going to take 100. Whichever leg is the least amount is going to minus it here. That's going to become a 0. All right. It's going to minus from here. That'll leave 900 for next week. This is what happens. Close of business on Thursday. Write that down. Wherever the snapshot is, close of business Thursday, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, close of business. It takes a snapshot of your back office, and whatever it is what you get paid on. So that meant if you had 100 points, and you know that as you were just bound to be qualified, and you get 10%, that 100 times 10% just basically means you made like $10, right? Put that in your calculator. 100 times 10%, you made like $10. Does that matter? Yeah, because over the course of several elections, it can matter because it gets you at least something you can say that I got a paycheck or something, but it's still just out of the third way. That won't count your retail. That won't count the people joining you. That's just this right here. But let's say you did 500 in volume points. And again, this is what we're talking about apprentice. You did the 500 in volume, and you had the 1,000 in volume over here. And what it's going to do is going to minus a 500 from here on Thursday night, and put it back to zero. It's going to take 500 from here, and you're going to be left with 500 starting off on that next work week. So it's kind of like money in the bank. You got 1,000 in the bank. You take out 500, you left with $500. Am I making sense? All right. So what happens here, an apprentice, that's 500 times 10%. That means you would have made $50 in this one here. So you make $50 for the third way we get paid in that 1 week. Plus you get the banner for saying that you hit an apprentice. They did have some additional things that, like I said, I'm going to check with John to see what else that they have additional things that they do. Because at one point they would give some tea and stuff like that, but I got to see what all they've been shifting some things. The reason why I say this, they shifted things to make it better for us. That means because we have check matching on retail sales and other things that they didn't have before, they got to take money and other gifts and things they used to give on other areas to make sure people can get paid on this, like on the backside for retail sales. So I got to make sure to see what all still comes with apprentice. But just know that you're gonna get promoted. You're gonna get a chance to get the rank. But you don't get ranked up. You don't go from 10% to 12%. That doesn't happen until you get to this right here. First of all, I want to cover that first. Now, you guys, everybody understand apprentice and what that is? Let me make sure I can see everybody here. All right, good stuff. All right. Now, what's important next? And that's why this call is important. I have to make sure you guys understand, and I start walking you through it so you know what's important now. The next thing that I need everybody to focus on this week, right? And this has to be a week because we got to start showing and proving that we have the ability to rank up. And that's director. Now, director is no longer 40 points, but now it's 80 points. That means 2 products minimum. But of course, you already know we do 3 products. But this is just what you got to understand what the system says. All right, so you understand it. But it's 80 personal qualifying volume. You got to be binary qualified. Minimum of 1,000 PLV, which is pay leg volume weekly. All right. This is not a requirement. That used to be there. They changed that right there. Now the benefits of the rank benefits, you're going to earn the first we get paid, the second we get paid, the third way we get paid, and now the fourth way we get paid with check match bonuses. So you get retail recruiting, binary bonuses, right? Which is binary commissions. Third way, 10 to 30%, and matching bonuses, which is 50% check match. See, binary, it says right here, binary are set at 12%, 5,000 weekly cap with a 50% level, first level, and 10% second level. Let me explain. This week, I got to make sure people are ranking up. This week, I want to make sure that you guys can see the vision for this process, that you want to engage with the organization and in this space. All right. And again, by the time I'm finished, I'm going to actually let other leaders get a chance to share as well. But I'm going to definitely have Ced talk at the end as well, because I know Ced got a good group of people on the call as well. And him and his team is already focusing in on this as well. So I'll let him share what he needs to share. But this week has to be a big week for everybody. Some of us, we don't have everybody on the call right now, but just make sure your people on the call right now, make sure that me and you and your group can get on the call tomorrow. I don't care if it's a 3-way call, a 1-on-1 call, 2-on-1 Zoom call. Just make sure me and your team can talk with you tomorrow so we can hold a plan. But let me say this before I write this out. I just remember one of our members, Peggy Saunders, she had to go to the hospital today. Peggy's been rocking with me since like 2013. You guys heard her on the call. She's at the hospital right now. She's under the weather. They running some tests on it right now. Her husband texted me right before, like maybe an hour ago. He texted me and Dawn, because we all in the same group. That's Dawn, the sponsor. So just please, you know what I'm saying, if you're into that space, put some prayers up and things like that. I just want to make sure you guys know that she's going through that process. She needs the love and energy from all of us on this call. So I want to say that to you guys right now as well. Because I say that because again, everybody's not in the call. But I also want to make sure you guys understand that stuff, right? So we can put some love and some love energy out into the universe for that process. All right. So now let me go into this. Now, when you let me see, in my pen, is it spotlight? Okay, there you go. When it comes, thank you so much for that, guys. Director, 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 put your hands together like this. Come on, Katrina. Come on, Catherine. Director, come on, Coach Corey. Come on, Deidre. Deidre, put your hands together, Miss Deidre. There you go. There you go. I want you to own the energy, own it yourself. Speak life into yourself. Listen, just say, because you deserve the opportunity to be promoted. You deserve the opportunity to rank up. You deserve it yourself. I want to make sure, because you deserve it, you say to yourself, yes. Yes, 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 I'm a director. Yes, I'm going to get it done. Director is the first corporate position that you get a pay raise from 10% to 12%. 10% to 12%. Director is, and we always tell people in every compensation plan in every company, there's a position that starts everything else for everybody. Director is that position for us here. Director is your position that you got to own and you must own. And when you own it, and you say, let me get there and let me help other people get there to director. Director is 1,000 in volume on your left and 1,000 in volume on the right. Now you're gonna get a chance to get paid 12% in the binary. And what that means is this. Like I said to you earlier, some of you guys are building your right leg and your left leg, right? Some of you guys are positioned where you may be in a position where there's other people. Let's say if this is you, all right? Because I'm going to make sure you always know when I train, I never like to say me or whatever. This is you. This is you, and your place. You sponsor somebody else in your organization. Let's say you sponsor me, and you sponsor Patricia. You may have put Patricia beneath me in the binary. I may have not sponsored nobody yet, but because you placed Patricia beneath me, and Patricia did this with her, she went binary, her person went binary, she generated 900 in volume points. That 900 goes up to me, even though I'm not, even though I haven't done the work yet, and it goes up to you. All right. If I did 100, Patricia did 900, I did 100. It's gonna be that 900 from Patricia, that 100 from me, and then you will get that 1,000 in volume points, because it's going to add up based off of what everybody beneath you on your left and your right. Whether you put them there or somebody above you placed the people there, you still have access to the same volume. In order to hold on to that volume, you have to be binary qualified. Write that down. In order for you to maintain that volume, you have to be binary qualified. Binary qualification could be you simply saying that I'm going to purchase a bag of products here. I'm gonna, because something that I want to use on the. You may do it yourself. Now I'll tell people, we want people to get active with people into the business. But if you seeing volume building up, that's like money in the bank. I know some people don't quite understand what that means, and they say, "Oh, I'm not going to spend money." No, you gotta. This is for you. This is not for me. The volume will come up anyway. But to hold on to the volume, you have to be active in that week's time to make sure. So if you're buying to be qualified and you're active and you're buying to be qualified, whichever volume generates, whether you put them there or somebody else does, it generates beneath you. In order to hold on to the volume so it doesn't go back to zero, to hold on to the volume so it don't go back to zero. I got to say that because some people don't quite get that. If you're not buying to be qualified on a weekly basis, at the end of Thursday night, 1 a.m., it all goes back. It goes zero. So to hold on to the volume, if you generate that 1,000, that will generate this week, you got to be active. I'll be binary. You just up at 80 points, all right? If you're trying to get director knocked out, somebody on your left and on your right, bare minimum of 40 and 40. So if you have not gotten binary qualified yet, you can say, you know what? I'm going to be sampling. I got some product I want to sample. So I want to order this that I can sample and this that I can sample. So you can literally get an account on two sides at 40 points and let that be whether you say I'm going to sample it or I'm going to use it. I'm going to sample it, I'm going to use it. Sample it or I'm going to sell it. I'm going to use it or I'm going to sell it. Whichever it is, you can actually keep yourself binary qualified because even though it's 1,000 here now, it can easily be 10,000. It can be 1 million in volume points that has stored up. And the reason why that's important is this: you never know at what point somebody that you might have spoken to will decide they're going to get into business and they're going to crush it. And that one person that you put over here, even though you had 50,000 in volume, is saving it up because in your mindset you knew that you was training, getting yourself ready, and people were looking for your consistency. Because right now somebody's looking for you to quit. You know why they want you to quit? So they can say, that's why I ain't joining Miss Burrow, because I knew she was going to quit. That's why I ain't joining you, Katrina, because they actually hoping you do it. So that because people be ornery sometimes, just don't want nobody to win. So when they see that you quit, that's why I ain't joining. I knew Patricia's going to quit. That's why they lying. They didn't want to do it anyway. But they want to have any excuse to say that's the reason why they didn't support or they ain't join you. But this is the deal. There's other people who join and they'll tell me, I joined you. And they literally told me that. They tell me that all the time. They'll tell me, I joined you because you are consistent. One of the recent people I just sponsored into the business, that's the first thing she told me. She said, I joined you because she said, I've seen a bunch of other people. She said, but you are always consistent. And because you're consistent, I want to work with somebody who's consistent in the business. So that means when you're consistent and people are watching you and they see that you're exactly right, Rebecca, they see that you're serious. You may happen to sponsor that one person who's been watching you. And now when they join, they get in and they crush it. And when they crush it, it just takes it to a whole nother level. And that now every week you may put somebody in the business that they can come in, they can rank up fast and you get paid. Now your paycheck goes up in a blast, but because you had all this volume saving because you were binary qualified, that's when you can start cashing out. Am I making sense? All right. Now, just so you guys understand this, I have to say that first. You understand why I said to make sure you're binary qualified, no matter what's happening. You got to do it yourself. To get with myself and your leadership to help you understand how to make that happen by tomorrow if it hasn't happened organically, which means somebody joining you. All right. And if somebody join, I still make sure I'm active myself because I do this already myself. I got somebody on my left and my right that I purchase products through on my own, no matter who's doing what. So I'm never at nobody else's beck and call that they're not active. I always make sure I remain active. I always make sure I'm purchasing product myself that I'm going to use, sell, or sample or whatever. Sometimes I give them, I buy product and I give, like we did the giveaway the other day. I sent off the product. I sent it off in the day and I took a picture and I sent it to them to the brewers, letting them see that I actually had shipped them their product. All right. Because again, I buy products to sell, to sample, to share, to supply my organization and group. And if I have the products, I can actually do that. So directly 1,000 in volume on your left, 1,000 in your volume on your right, bare minimum on your left and your right. And what's going to happen is when you go director, and now you're earning 12% in the binary. That 12% in the binary, get your calculator. That means 1,000 times 12% means you would have made $120 for a director in the binary. All right, you made 120. So as you made that 120, you got to remember, you also have, if you sponsor somebody in the business, and let's say you sponsor somebody at the Elite Kit, you sponsor 2 people at the Elite Kit, which is our goal. We'll talk about that later. That you can make 400. Remember, I said you can make up to $400 when I do the presentation. I said you can make between 20 up to 400. Somebody joins with one product, you can make $20. They join with something like in the kit, you can make $400. So if you sponsor 2 people at $400 each, you could have made $800 on top of that right there, if you bought the product from your kit and you sold the product from your kit, you could have made another $1,000 or $500, whatever it is. So whatever you retail, products on hand, you can retail. When you sponsor people, you get paid, and then what you do in the binary. Now, this here is important because now, like I said, you get paid 50% check match on the first level and up to another 50% check match or 10% on the second level. So now that you are director, now you can get paid the fourth way we get paid 50% check match. You get 50% retail, you get 50% here for life changer bonus, and you get 50% here for match. So that means if this is you and you went director and you sponsored me, and I was doing the same thing, and I'm building my team. You helped me build my right side because we shared this leg together, and I'm building my team, and I too went director. That means if I went director over here, because I did 1,000 on my left and 1,000 on my right, because I did this right here, and I got 1,000 over here. Now I'm a director, and then you went director, so you made your 120 that you made for going director. But also your 50% check match means that if I went director, I already told you there's $120 that's made from director. 50% check match is 120 divided by 2, which is 60. So that means as a check match bonus, you made $60 from me on the first level. Then let's say I sponsored Said and Patricia and Rebecca and Sunshine and Peg, which I did. So let's say I sponsor all these people and they're on your second level. And they too are ranking up or getting apprentice done or whatever they're doing in their binary. That means you can make a 50% check, a 10% check match from what Sid does, what Patricia does, what Jennifer does, what Jack does. These are all the people I personally sponsored. So now you may end up making another $100 or $200. The check match bonuses are the biggest way we get paid in the company. These are the reasons why, even though you max out in the binary, the third way you can max out at 30,000. For instance, I was a global director. As a global, I was maxing out at 10,000 for the week, right? And as a global, maxing out at 10,000. Actually, at one point, it used to be 20,000. But it was 10,000. Let's say I maxed out at 10,000 for the week. My weekly paychecks were still like at 50,000 sometimes, right? Or like the one I showed you guys, this one right here was like, that's like one of my weekly paychecks. Now it's just a national right here, right? So let's say on a weekly basis, if I was only maxing out at 10,000, but the rest of that money came from check match bonuses. The people I was helping them to get their paychecks of 5,000 and 10,000 and 15,000. That's why I have people that when I got to the $1 million ring in the company, you know I'm saying I've helped people that got the $500,000 ring, and people that got the $250,000 ring, and several people got the $100,000 ring because I'm working with people where they are. But the great thing is this: anybody can outdo anybody. That means I can make 100,000, you can make 500,000. I can make 100,000, you can make $1 million. My job is to teach you to be better than who I am, Ms. Brewer. I'm going to give you the very best for you to go do whatever you got to do for yourself and your family. All right. The volume, all of a sudden, the backside things that happen. But my job is to make sure that I can help everybody do what they got to do. But also keep this in mind, like Ms. Brewer, because see, some people only work with people if they feel like they can get a check match bonus directly from the person, right? But I understand, let me work with everybody. Like we did a launch call for you today, right, Ms. Brewer? And who's your sponsor? Katrina? Who's your sponsor, Katrina? Go ahead, open your mic up, Katrina.
Cedric.
Cedric, all right? Now, the reason why that's important is this. It's only Cedric and Katrina that there's a check match on, but I'm still working with Dietrich. There ain't no check match for me for that right there. There's a check match for Sid. There's a check match for Katrina. My job is not for me to be like, well, I'm not making a check match. I'm not. No, my job is to help everybody, anybody, everybody, no matter where you are, to help you feed your family. You got me? I'm not going to limit your paycheck because I feel mine may be limited. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to do all I can do to make sure. So I say that to you guys because when I'm giving you guys information and stuff, I'm giving you the very best to make sure you can be the very best for yourself and your family. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to give you, I'm never going to limit you. So when I'm giving you the information, just know that I'm keeping everything open and real so you can know what to go do for yourself and your family. And nobody can ever tell you, well, those people are going to try to, they're only going to make money off of you. Like somebody was telling me earlier, right, Coach Catherine? Yeah, people just want to make money off of you. The people at the top, no. Anybody and everybody can make money starting where you are. You will get to the top when you learn to build from where you are, because that's what people say. The people at the top know the people here can make more. You can make more money today than the person who got started yesterday. All right. So director is where you guys want to focus at. There's other ranks in between, other things. I'm just gonna go to executive. We're gonna stop there for tonight. And maybe I may tap on regional because other people they're gonna be hitting regional director. But right now, just know that this week should be a director week. I want you guys to be focusing on that right there. Matter of fact, John, I was asking John to send me a link because there's a link to where, and it says sent it to me as well. Like there's different packages that you have that tells you how much volume, and that's what I say I like to meet with individuals and strategize with you. But just know there's packages like the Elite Kit. It comes with a certain amount of volume that can go into the binary. All right. The Premier Kit comes with more volume. So the bigger the kits, the more volume can go into. So when somebody joins, when people join, when you want to get to these ranks faster, you want people joining with kits and packs. If they join with a pack that's 400 in volume points here, and you got 400 in volume for this person who joined with a kit, like Elite Kit or something, this person joined with Elite Kit. By the time they came in and they went by it, they did 400 points, 400 points, 400 points. That's all you already went. That's 400, 800. You already went director with just 3 people. So it don't take as much as you think. But also when people do this, you got to remember. I tell people the reason why you want to do this because when they do this, they've made almost their initial investment back just from their sponsoring their 2 people. So this is another level of training that I don't want to bog people down. Just know that there's a plan that when you join with a bigger pack, some of you guys are brand new, so I don't want to overwhelm you with this. But just know the bigger the kit, there's a way of how we show you how to recoup the initial investment by starting with a bigger pack, selling those products. So I do a training on that as well. How much product you can sell, how much you can reinvest, all this other stuff. And I'll break that down to you guys as well. But right now, I need everybody just knowing that directors is the first thing. Let me see 1 second here. And then, of course, after director, they have Rising Star. Rising Star just like it's a halfway mark, like going halfway to like apprentice is a halfway. Everything that you see already, plus extra $200, but that's not the goal. That's only last second of the last second. So your actual goal is director and executive. When you go executive, it's 5,000 in volume points. All right. And as you see right here, is everything that we talked about earlier. But as you see right here, now you get 50% on check match on the first level and 20% on the second level. So that means if you sponsor me, you get a 50% check match. If I sponsor Said, you get a 20% check match from Said. If Said, and I'm saying, and if I sponsor 20 people, you get a 20% check match off of every person that I sponsored, and they're on your second level. That's how that works. Now, executive is 5,000, and I'm going to cover this. I'm going to be done. Then regional is 10,000. Same thing. And now at 10,000, it's 30% on the second level. All right. So I'm going to cover it this way. I want to say it to you first because we're going to be done. Let's see what time is it. We're going to be done. I want to give it to you first before we wrap it up. Can you guys understand that right there? I don't want to be sometimes when it's just know when you're training people, sometimes there's too much stuff going on the board or in front of them, their brain shut off. So when I say by them, I'm talking about me. All right. So when I be like, yeah, let me say how people be. I'm people. I'm people. All right. So because I know I'm people, and then when I tell people my story, they be like, me too. I know it's other people. So I try not to overwhelm with too much stuff. Someone who gets it quick, soon as they see it, they can look at it one time and go 400. Me, I gotta be like one, 7. Let me borrow your toes. I gotta count my fingers, my toes, Patricia toes, because it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? No shame in my game. It's what it is. All right. So executive director is 5,000 in volume points on your left, 5,000 in volume points on the right. All right. 5,000, 5,000. Now again, your team could produce more than that, but you got to at least have 5,000 on one side. And then by the time you get to 5,000, you may have 1,000 and 2,000 and 3,000. Still already got 5,000 on one side already. And then you get into this next level. By the time you get to 5,000, now you're earning 14%. That's exact. You're earning 14% in the binary. So 14%. So 5,000. Get your calculator out real quick. 5,000 times 14%. Now I recommend you really get your calculator to see it. That's $700. Now the question is, can you use the extra $700 right now, Katrina? Yeah, me too. All right, can you use that right now? Don't get bougie in the call tonight. You can listen, Catherine. Don't get bougie tonight. Like you too good for 700 US. You know what I'm saying? I can use it. All right. So the thing is this: if you can use it, just say to yourself, "Yeah, I can use that. I can use 700 for the week. So I can use 700 times 4. That's extra $2,800 for the month. I can use that right there. You got me? That's the bare minimum of what you can do as an executive. All the way up from 5,000 up to 10,000 or $9,999.99, which is the next rank level. Each time, let me say this to you: each time I give you a number, let's say from director, you can earn between 10% from 1,000 points all the way up to 5,000 points or 4,999. You got me? That's how it works. So same thing when you go executive, you can earn between 5,000. The next rank is 10,000 in volume points. So whatever it is at 14%, let's say 14, like $9,999.99 times 14%. So that's like oh, I'm sorry, let me do this one more time. So I'll mess this up. Times 14%. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do 10,000. So let's say because it's only like a point penny difference. So between 5,000 and 10,000, you can make it executive. You can make between $700 up to $1,400 that you can actually make as a executive director all the way up and so. All right. So the thing is this, guys, I want you to know. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. All right. Executive director is 5,000 volume points, 14% that you get promoted in. Same thing I said, director, people on your left and your right. And I said, people join. I showed you earlier, they join with the product packs, how much faster you can get. So keep this in mind. Let's say if a person joins, you get 400 volume points for the pack. And again, I'll talk to you guys offline about that right there because I want to confuse everybody. But let's say if you got, the way you figure that is 5,000 in volume points divided by 400 points. That's 12 people. 12 people in your organization who joined. I mean, you got somebody who came in and they went binary and they got in, they went binary. They got in, they went binary. They have somebody go binary. And because I tell people we don't let our minimums be our maximums, by the time you really getting this thing going, your goal should be to add 20 people on your left, 20 people on your right. This week, you should be saying, I'm going to add 10 people, 10 people. The faster you can get 20 on your left, 20 on your right, because out of all those, everybody's not going to work. But the faster you can say, let me get 20 people sponsored here, 20 people sponsored here. But this week, if you do 10 people over here, 10 people over here, I just showed you how if you had 12 people who did one of the top packages that joined an organization, you can easily get this executive director knocked out. But it's going to be important, guys, that you yourself start off by getting directed. I don't want to, like I said, many of you guys your mind won't wrap around it yet because you haven't even gone director yet. But but there's some of you guys that's on this call right now who either are close to executive, all right, or you're already director. So I had to make sure I cover that for you guys. But for everybody else, the goal right now is director. 12% in the binary. 1,000 on the left, 1,000 on the right. And we do that by getting you plus a few other people that we help them get into the business. If you sponsor 10 people over here, 10 people over here, fast. I don't care what you did before. I don't care. It don't matter if it has, well, having sponsored don't matter. You can do it. You can turn the energy way up. If you have a goal, write that down, and a deadline. A goal and a deadline. Everything about us is a goal and a deadline. When we normally have a goal that we got, if the rent is due and we know it got to be paid, and that's our deadline, or they're gonna kick us out or take the car, and you got by Friday for some reason, we find that money. You may have been just about to be evicted. You ain't do your first month and your second month, and they're about to put you out. All of a sudden now you came up with 2 months because you got a goal and a deadline. Prior to that, we've been operating on this crazy energy that when you come from a background like I come from, Rebecca, which is one of poverty, we normally operate on what we call, I'm almost done with the call, what I call about a do-by date. Do-by. So when I say when is your bill due? They don't never say it's due on they say it's due by. It's due by the 7th. It's due. Your bill supposed to be paid on the 1st. The first thing your mind, if I ask you that question, you go, oh, it's due by. I already know where you said that. You got me? We got to change that thinking of it's due by, because by the time we always think we got, okay, you know how they tell you it's a grace period. You heard it. They say you got a grace period. In our mindset, we believe that's God's grace. It's by God's grace, all things. We think it's God's grace that we got due by dates. But no, we can't operate on a due by date. We got to operate on the date. Put the goal and the deadline to be ahead so you can start paying things ahead of time. I want you guys to operate this thing, knowing, guys, that director can be done this week. Thursday's the end of the work week. We got all day tomorrow to turn the energy way up. You should be sponsoring people, following back up starting tomorrow morning, calling people, getting people who said they was open, getting them on a call with me, 3-way calls, Zoom calls, one-on-one calls, all throughout the day, calling people back, following back up with people. I know I told you I'll call you back. You didn't respond back. We got to talk today. We got to talk today. And the energy that you create, that you talk to somebody and they'll hear something different. And when they hear it different, they're going to want to be a part of it. They're going to want to, they'll tell you yes when they haven't told you yes before, because there's a new energy that you're communicating with. All right. So I want to say that to you. Before I wrap it up, I'm going to have any other leader have any comments, questions they want to share. I'm going to have said share as well. Some last minute things he want to share. And do you need me to give you, let me make sure, hold on a second. I'm going to set a co-host in case there's anything else he want to better share from his screen if he wants to. But anybody got any last minute comments, statements they want to share before I bring set up?
Yeah. Hi, Coach. Hi, everyone. I just want to say that this training was very helpful. We go through it now and then, but it was good that you went into depth, and I hope we continue doing this type of training as well.
Yeah, and that's what the leadership mastery call is different than the vision mastery. It has to be a lot of hands-on, walking through back office stuff. People have to have the ability to see what they're going for, not just saying get in, call. They have to understand their strategies to everything. So these are strategy sessions and calls that we have based on where people are at. And right now, this is where everybody got to be turned in. We got to have everybody turned on to that at the same time. Anybody's got any last minute comments, statements they want to share before I bring set up?
Mr. Scott, can you
Yes,
hear me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss Sunshine.
Hey, how are you?
Well,
Yes, this training tonight was very, very needed I mean, I know the little circus that we have done years and years ago, but guys, for the new people, it's very exciting. I know those sound like a whole lot of numbers with the zeros, and you have to get this and get that. It's just everybody getting a little bit, and believe me, it will add up. I know the first time I became a director that morning, I think I might have, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 200 points. And at about maybe 5 o'clock, I was like, okay, I'm calling people, I'm asking for their help, and it just wasn't working. Well, we work until the last minute, and on that day, I went past 1,000 to get director. So don't give up when it's like 12 o'clock, or matter of fact, let's put it like this: 12 o'clock, and you have another hour to go. Don't give up. Just keep pushing. Get those last numbers in. Just go for it, because believe me, it will all come together. But Mrs. Scott, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that, because I want people. That's what I said earlier. We don't go to the numbers. We go through the numbers. If it's well, I made it by this time. It don't matter. We're gonna go all the way through the numbers, because you got other people on your team that they're going for it as well. And we gotta. It ain't about us. It's success is about self. Significance is about other people. Right now, we got to be focused on helping other people hit their goals. Any last person before I bring set up? Got any comment statements they want to share? Okay, great. Said, I appreciate you. I know, again, we had a call with you, your organization and team. You got a big plan for what you're going to be doing yourself as well. But I want to make sure that as a seasoned veteran in the industry as well, you have a chance to share some last minute insights and systems, whatever you want to better share as well.
How you guys doing? How everybody doing? I want to give yourself a round of applause, because you guys could have been anywhere, but you guys to be on this call. So some of the things I'm going to share, like a few things pretty much that we use inside our system, because a lot of times what happens, people are more visual, and really just trying to understand this binary can kind of be just a little tad difficult. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen 1 second. All right, let me share my screen real quick. All right. Let's see. Okay, a lot of times, can everybody hear me? Can everybody see my screen? Okay, I want everybody to take a screenshot of this, because lesser leg binary training is very important when it comes to understanding how you get paid. So I always like to tell everybody, please understand how this works. So for example, as you see, we always, like Mrs. Scott said, we always get paid on our lesser leg. So right now, what you see in your left, you actually see 300 in volume, and you actually see 1,000 to your right. So back then, people would think that we get paid on the leg that has the most volume. That is not true. What we do get paid on, we get paid on our lesser leg with the lesser volume. I tell everybody, and I like to tell my team a lot of the times, is you have to mind your business. Like, it is very important to understand. Like, a lot of people, they get lost when it comes to this binary. This binary is not hard. It's not simple, but it can be simple if you really pay attention to your back office. Now, also, what I like to tell my team too as well is, I like to tell everybody, dream big. You want to get debt free. You want to set you got to dream big. So if I'm dreaming big, like for me, I want to be debt free. I want to pay off my home in 24 months. I want to get a new cash car in 12 months. Some of you guys want to pay off your student loans. But what you want to do is you want to make your true $1 million, guys. You have to dream big. Mr. Scott said earlier, you got to set goals. So as an associate right now, you want to be associate in 1 or 2 weeks. The reason why I say 1 or 2 weeks is because everybody works different. So I understand that. Some of us, we did associate, which meaning that we became binary qualified pretty much in a day. When we first got into the business. As a director, you want to set a goal to be a director at 1 to 2 months, executive director at 3 to 4 months, regional director at 4 to 5 months, and national director at 6 months, global director pretty much at a year. You want to constantly, repeatedly, always, you want to relaunch your business. Always. So when you first get into business, you really want to launch it in 24 hours. But as you see, my first tea party meeting, I like to do in 3 to 5 days always. I like to relaunch my business again in 7 days. Why? Because within the time of 3 to 5 days, I know that I've had new business partners, and those new business partners can invite other new business partners, guys. And then pretty much is what we have a PSS meeting, where we have like a super Saturday, and that super Saturday we do a lot of training and different things and invite different leaders, and we use that within 20 days of our 30 meeting. And then right here, what you want to do is you want to constantly plug in people to the system, guys. You want to plug in people week after week in your conference calls. You want to promote the team calls, guys. So we have to get more consistent with the team calls. We have to get consistent with promoting our team calls. You always want to plug in your people week by week, day by day. You want to make sure that you're promoting the meetings week by week, day by day. You want to plug in, guys, to the training, because the training can be the most powerful too. A lot of times what happens is this. A lot of times you don't know. And if you don't know, it's okay to don't know. But once you constantly over and over and you hear the presentations over and over, it becomes in your head, guys. And promote the training. You want to duplicate, this system week after week, day by day, month after month, and year by year. This is a guideline, guys, that I've been very successful by when it came to reaching the top of comp plans. But I like to tell people this. It's not about how fast you finish the race at all. It's just about staying consistent, because a lot of times people may finish first, but just because they finish first don't mean that it's going to be sustainable for them. So when you work in this business, you always want to work with a strategy. You always want to work with a pace, but at the same time, you always want to work with communication. With that being said, I am going to turn it over back to Ms. Scott. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well. And he dittoed everything we talked about, man. Like I said, we got to have a goal, a deadline, and be consistent in this process. So, Seth, I appreciate you for just sharing and making sure people was able to see the visual. Because, like I said, that's what I like to write it out, or I'll share the screen with it, with the circles and O's, because I just know like most people, they got to see it. And he did a great job on literally making sure everybody could see the numbers. And when you know your numbers, you can grow your numbers. You got me? And again, and as you guys know, man, he ended up with what I say all the time. I look to work with people with a long-term strategy. Never a hype, let's get it done real fast, and then all of a sudden you can't sustain it. I look to build it so that it sustains. I build it so that once you get there, because the company gives you 4 weeks after you hit a rank to requalify and get everything sustainable. The reason why I keep everything in the time frames that I do week to week, day to day, is because I know that as it compounds week to week, and if you do it the correct way, and I've done it many years. Like I said, I watch people come and go, businesses crashing and burning, but by the way I build it with myself and everybody else, everybody was always sustainable. Income was sustainable. Everybody coming think, oh, sky's burning, falling around. We were sustainable because I teach the long-term strategies, and said teaches long-term strategies that make sure that people can solidify. And I appreciate you guys, man. Today is going to be the very beginning of a lot of greatness that we're going to start to accomplish. But this had to be an introductory call into getting this director knocked out. So if you guys have any last minute things, make sure you DM me, hit me up. Let's go ahead and get on the phone calls. Let's do some private strategy session with you plus your groups and your teams or something, so you can write some numbers out for you guys. And I'll see each and every one of you guys at the top. I'll see each and every one of you guys over the top. You guys having a great and exciting new you. Love you guys. Good night, everybody. Open your mics and say good night, please.
Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.